there are differences and similarities. The differences are that the main actors of the 2008 uprising was the youth, especially the high school students, and part of the, let's say, more proletarianized sectors of the youth. Now, the main actor is are clearly the working people, and they are structured by the trade union movement, who is the main driving force, let's say, of the ongoing social protest. However, they do share in common two important things. The first is that they reflect and they express the deep crisis of legitimacy of in Greek society, the gap between the political representation and society in both cases. Okay? In the first case, expressed via the illegitimacy of state violence, and in the second case, by those salvage neoliberal measures. And the second common element, of course, is the insurrectionary spirit of the Greek popular movements. And we have seen in the demonstrations of last week in Athens that, there is a lot of anger, a lot of tension, and that very quickly those very impressive demonstrations can really turn into riots and to clashes in the police, involving now not young people, etc., but ordinary working people who are just angry. The Greek public opinion, I think, is really divided or oscillating between widespread anger, because nearly everyone will be very directly and immediately affected by the impact of those measures. The perception of their unjust character is almost unanimous across the political spectrum, even, I would say. The oscillation, so, is not about the legitimacy of those measures, but about the extent to which they are inevitable. So the oscillation is between anger and resignation, I would say, between a will to act, to protest, and to do something about this, and the perception that perhaps there is no credible alternative and that nothing else is somehow at hand in the current situation. These are the terms of the debate, and it's still open. We'll see how it will develop. Of course, the Greek economic plan is the typical example of the IMF-sponsored neoliberal purge, which is now completely reproduced by the European Union. And I think that the discussion and the debate is now moving on that level. Is it compatible to have an alternative, progressive, even on purely, let's say, standard social democratic terms agenda? Is this approach compatible with the way the European Union and this type of institutions do exist and do function today? Is it compatible to say that, ordinary people cannot pay for the crisis, and maintaining the European Central Bank the way it functions, the way the Eurozone functions, and the way the European institutions do function? A lot of people in the Greek left think that this is not compatible anymore, and that other solutions, such as defaulting, renegotiating the debt politically, and exiting the Eurozone should be part of a genuine left-wing political agenda, not on a nationalistic and isolationist sense, but as a necessary break with the existing, let's say, framework, which will just lead to disaster. I would say that this is a very, very dangerous situation, I think. We are entering, I think, really a new phase. Retrospectively, what we have been living so far in terms of concrete application of neoliberal policies might appear as just a kind of mild starter compared to what is happening now. This is the importance, I think, of the Greek case. Greece is the weak link. It's the weak link because Greek capitalism is perhaps the most fragile, at least in Western Europe, but it is a weak link also because it is the country where the level of social resistances, of social movements, and of popular struggle is the highest. And this is, the ruling classes are very much aware of this, and they want to make Greece a test case. So everyone should be aware of the stakes now, and of course, solidarity and information among, all the people, the working people, the young people of Europe is absolutely indispensable, because the adversary is common, and therefore we need to be to converge.